Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Clockwise Thoughts. Thanks for joining us another week. Once again, this
Hey
is
everybody.
Clockwise Thoughts, where we're gonna make an attempt to open your mind and help reset that mental clock that you have to add just a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of twist. This week's episode, you have Scout, Ree, and Black. Um, this is a little bit interesting. This is a topic that I haven't thought about in a while. It's not one that my particular circle talks about, but it's one that we all need to talk about, and it's gonna be black-owned businesses. So I'm gonna you know, pass the mic over to Scout, let him have the floor, and kind of let him explain what's going on with the black-owned businesses and some of the hardships that we go through.
All right. First of all, it's three number one rules to the black-owned businesses. Number one, the field is not fair. From the very beginning, diversity and everything else is not fair. When I say that, as far as business loans and just getting started with startup, you're going to run into a problem. Two, once you do get started up, the backing with it and how people just perceive that we should either just be athletes or movies and stuff like that. And then totally three, they always say when it's a black-owned business, it's over-marketed. And the reason why I say that, they look at it as pretty much we're always doing the same thing. We're never going outside the norm. So my question to y'all two is, how do y'all honestly feel about that?
Hmm.
I mean,
Well,
go ahead, Black.
uh, I mean, to one of your first points, yeah, the disparity between the financial backing between a minority business owner. I've seen that in a couple of situations, but at the same time, I live in Florida, so it's a lot of people that are contractors down here. A lot of people are doing trade work. So, in a sense, as long as you save hard to a degree, that's pretty much how most people do it here. Because you're right, it's next to impossible to get a loan, even if you're trying to start a business. I mean, hell, I'll be honest. I'm an independent contractor. I'm an owner operator myself, and I'm having some hardships right now just because of the pandemic. You know, work slows down and things of that nature. So I'm trying to apply for some loans myself. And yeah, I am finding this is a little bit difficult. I don't know if it's just me, but I am finding I'm running into a few roadblocks. But to your second point, I can kind of understand where you're coming from on, in order to get a loan, to get backing, people want you to be like a movie star or an athlete because they know you basically have the capital in a sense. You know what I mean? You're only as good as how much you have in the bank. And I don't even know if that's how credit works. You're supposed to be as good as your credit score says you are, not, what you have to your name. But again, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I can understand completely what you're saying. Even though it seems like it's a far reach in my degrees of separation, no, it's not actually that far away.
Okay. Yeah, there is disparity. We don't get a fair shake in anything. So your first point, with it being a level playing field, no, we know that's not right. We know that's not accurate. Um, when it comes to getting loans and at least not even getting them, but attempting to get them and filing the paperwork, we know that whatever the percentage rate for us to pay back is going to be higher than our Asian counterparts, than our Caucasian counterparts, whatever it may be. Um, yeah, and just with the backing in general, you know, yeah, it's they don't want you to be anything other than an actor. They want you to be an entertainer, no matter what it is, sports, stage and screen. Music, we're only good for entertainment. That's it. If you're an entertainer, they have no problem with giving you whatever you were looking for. Besides that, yeah, try the other bank down the street, and it's just a ping pong effect back and forth. It's like you're playing pong, just bink, bink, bink,
Mm.
bink, until that
Hey, that was
ball
back then.
passes through. So yeah, man, it's not fair. It's not right. It is the world we live in, but in my opinion, we as a community need to find a way to change that.
Okay, definitely.
Well, I look at it like this: if more people looked at the concept of what the person is bringing to the table is trying to do, or per se say they see that person's vision, I think more stuff or more businesses would actually get started. This is supposed to be now the era of that anyone can make a business out of anything, from t-shirts. Look at it. If you go back 20 years ago, where was YouTube? Where was Facebook? All this other stuff.
Mhm.
Even from that small little bit, we still didn't get fair shakes. The reason why I say this is I don't know if y'all watched the movie called The Banker with Samuel L. Jackson in it. It was two brilliant business owners that were black. One that was in real estate, the other one owned a couple multi different businesses. But they took on buying not one but two banks in Alabama. They had to send in a white dude that actually worked for them for the banks and them to talk to. And that's somewhat how it is today. It's either we have to have a lot of capital already established behind us, or we're going off the vouch system. And it goes back to like how both of y'all just said. Us as people, it should be better than that. Because I'm a firm believer, if you actually have the skills and the ideas to bring something that's going to work, why not give that a shot? Because if someone didn't take a risk, we wouldn't have platforms like this. Someone had to give somebody a shot. And to me, that's all we ask. That's it. That's all we ask. Because look at it. I'll take our business, for example. Look how hard it has been. And, I'm not saying that the hard times ain't going to make us stronger as a whole. But honestly, it should have not been, like Reese said, a ping pong effect. Every time when we thought we gained a little headway, someone knocked us over here. Then we had to just scrape and crawl to get back to where we got knocked from. And I'm sorry to say, with other people or other races, it's just not like that. It's just, okay, cool. Oh, you know how to handle money? You got this person backing you? Oh, green light. But with us, what if you did for me lately, or how much money you got besides that? And my thing is, okay, if we had that type of money in the first place, we wouldn't be coming to you. But that's where, if you're a movie star or a sports figure, or like how Reed said, entertainment, they give you the green light. And that's extra sad. This is the way how it is right now.
Well, I mean, there's a couple different. I think there's a lot of different factors probably that attribute to that. But trying to figure out the nicest way of saying this without being a complete All right, let's just cut it to brass tacks. Hold on. let's put the truth out there. The main reason why I believe we as minorities have a problem obtaining loans and things of that nature, let's put this on all seriousness. We don't reach far enough for people in those positions to feel comfortable, in a sense, endorsing us or loaning us money. What I mean by that is you could have an idea, but these people are looking at it like, okay, if this isn't going to strike gold, i.e. your athlete, your entertainer or whatnot, even if you're looking at a 51-49 split, you know what I mean? You're still looking more towards, I'm probably not going to be able to recoup my investment on this. This is not going to reach far enough. And that a lot of that is marketing. Now, marketing is tough because if you're trying to grassroots yourself, you probably can't afford to put your name on a billboard, but you can probably try to get your name on a bus stop. You know what I mean? It'll take a little bit longer, but you're not going to reach the same amount of people if you put your name on that billboard. You know what I mean? As weird as this is, I kind of liken it to, we all agree Eminem is a decent rapper. I hope, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay. I say that to say this. If you listen to his first album in '96, Infinite, and you listen to Jay-Z's album, Reasonable Doubt, you gonna hear two dudes that you know they know what they're doing, but there's a different engine behind each of them. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now, as weird as that is, I say that to say this: if your initial showcase is backed by a powerful engine, your product will go far. But in a lot of cases, minorities come into the situation where they don't necessarily have that engine. This is why, let's just be real, this is why a lot of people turn to street money. You know what I mean? Because street money can give you that backing to at least make your initial showcase something that somebody will want to pay attention to. And like I said, I'm saying this whether it's entertainment, sports, a physical product, or what have you. You get what I'm saying? So as weird as it is, it's like my homeboy, he's deceased now. I actually lost him a couple months ago. But he was like, with credit, it's one of the situations where you want to give the impression you have credit, but you don't actually need it. You know what I mean? So in a situation, you want to give that feeling off that, you know what, I could do this indie if necessary, but if you get with me, we both gonna make money. Now, there aren't many things that a lot of people in those high up positions are going to take that seriously because, like you said, Scout, there's a lot of repetitiveness in the entrepreneurial world. You know what I mean? So right. You're right. If we're not thinking bigger and farther, but at the same time, if we're going to think bigger and farther, we're going to have to find a way to come up on that capital ourselves. And sometimes it's in a positive way, sometimes it's in a negative way. But in order to showcase, so our initial showcase is something someone will actually take seriously, therefore getting backing is a lot easier. Like you said, 20 years ago with YouTube makes your showcasing easier because you can reach more people. You don't even have to, do something for like a tryout, a label exec. You don't have to go to Hollywood and end up on the street broke because you can audition from your house, from your computer through the internet. You know what I mean? You can when you come to an executive or something of that nature, you can say, look, this is the following I have. This many people already support, endorse, whatever, what have you, what I'm doing. That's enough to tell you gonna reach this many people and probably more with the network of people you already have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when we down here on the floor, on the ground level of it, it's a little bit harder to to have that initial that spectacular, or I don't even know if we call it spectacular, but that initial showcase that really gravitates people towards you. It's really hard to do that if you don't already have yourself some capital and invested in your product. So that way, when you do go to proposition a loan, you can have a prototype, have a sales plan, something that you can tangibly show somebody. Hey, look, this is what I'm already doing. Not this is what I want to do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Black. But with that, shouldn't it be really about not the showcase, but the product or the body of work?
Well,
Like
yeah,
it's plenty of,
that's what the showcase is going to be.
but that's what I'm saying though. Take shows like, for instance, Shark Tank
Mm-hmm.
with Mark Cuban and everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that show. Now, keto took off, but they really wasn't thinking that it was ever going to be something that's going to milk fat,
Mm-hmm.
because they wouldn't really give it a chance. Now, look at all the other products that came from that. Only thing it was is a body of work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this. Instead of all the time just trying to main squeeze a small, powerful avenue into one showcase to try to impress somebody, why don't they go off the product in the body of work? That's the only thing what I'm saying I think that needs to change, because that's how they look at certain things. They'll give this person because they already either know they have dollar signs and don't, and the risk is very small, but they'll bypass someone who has the same similar idea because they don't have those dollar signs.
Right.
That's
And
the only thing what I'm saying that I feel that's wrong. Because look at it.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I disagree with you on that. I'm not saying I disagree with you on that. I'm just saying based on what we know the rules of engagement are, right or wrong, the best way I can think of to navigate through them.
I mean,
Okay.
there's no real. The sad thing is there's no real way to navigate. I mean, we can sit here and say, yeah, we can figure it out. So just doing a little bit of research earlier today, I came across this PBS.org. Right, we all know where PBS is.
Juggernaut.
Yep, Sesame Street, all those wonderful people. Um, so I just came across a quick little article. It's a pandemic highlights the extra hardships faced by black owned businesses, and it's an actual transcript, so you're able to read the full transcript between the interviewer and the people that he's interviewing. Now, something interesting popped up to me when I was reading over this. Now I'm trying to find the exact section, but
Mm-hmm.
the interviewer, he was talking about a couple of the main issues that black owned business owners have. His name is Robert Farrelly. So
Mm-hmm.
he is the racial gap in wealth, the racial gap in education,
Mm-hmm.
this racial gap. What is this racial gap in family business ownership? You put all these factors together, and that's what's contributing to why I see young persons today who's African American who has a much lower chance of starting a business and running a successful business, that somehow, that someone who's white is running the same style of business. Then the interviewee, Paul Salmon, says the pandemic itself, since this pandemic has started,
Mm-hmm.
number of black owned businesses, the percentage that has been reduced to this issue is 41%.
Mm.
So we lost 41% of black owned businesses because of the pandemic itself, because we don't have that extra access to funds if we need to go to our bank and say, hey, I need to take out
Yeah.
I need to make sure my overhead is paid, because without that stream of income coming in from our clientele, nothing's there. And also, just doing a little bit of research as well, going to Forbes. And this is something that, and we just talked about this, and it was getting that extra backing. And once again, this is coming from Forbes. Banks typically look for 2 to 3 years worth of financial data when making their underwriting decision. 2 to 3 years of financial data. Like, why do we need, and this is going to be my question to you after I read over this a little bit more, but why do you need 2 to 3 years of financial data, right? This financial data, this doesn't work in favor of Black-owned businesses. Therefore, the majority of applicants have a better shot of obtaining capital from community banks, CDIFs, and non-bank lenders. So why are you looking for 2 to 3 years of financial records when I'm coming to you for a business? I understand, from what Scout said earlier, that they're looking for the dollar signs. If you already have money saved and money set aside, then there's no problem. But by doing this, most of the money that we have to start our businesses, our family, our friends, is coming from our savings account. So we're breaking ourselves before we even get a chance to sit down and have that conversation with the bank who's going to underwrite our loan for us.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, the playing field is unfair. And it is sad that it's either written or said in some type of documentation that that's what they doing. Why? I understand everybody got to get looked at, but just like how it is now, did y'all know for you to get any type of assistance from any federal bank or loans or stuff like that that's going on right now, you have to have a minimum of 8 months to one whole full year to get on this federal reprieve for even for small businesses. So for startups like how we are, we're not qualified for that. But do you know it's public record, but no one has really said it. You have to ask for that to get that information.
Well, and I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm going to chime in real quick. It's only public record if you know the questions to ask.
That's true.
They can tell you, everything's out there. You can find everything on the internet. Tell me where to find it. Oh, just look it up. What am I looking up? So you're right in the sense that the information is public record, but without knowing the question asked, then you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Who really of us, we don't get shown, or I say per se taught, how these unspoken rules actually apply. Like we don't know how that is, and it's sad because it's been other people that has walked through this journey, and instead of them helping you out or telling you, hey man, I see what you're going through, I've been this way, let me help you out. That's all what's really needed to be done. Because Blackman, like how you said earlier, look at the hardships and stuff what you're hitting right now. If someone was to come along and tell you, hey, well, you was doing your contracting stuff like this, but if you think for a minute, if you could just tweak it this way and you would miss that, would you not take that information from them?
Of course. Yeah, that's without a question.
But I'm saying that's not being done.
It's not
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like how Reed just said. Yeah, the information and stuff is out there. Yeah, it's out there. But if you don't even have a clue, one given clue, how to ask about that or how to research it, man, you lost in the sauce.
yeah.
That's why they said black businesses 9 times out of 10 will fail within 1 at the maximum high in 5 years. But they look at that gap from 1 to 3.
Because there's a lot of information out there that a lot of people aren't privy to, aren't finding out.
No, once
Correct.
remember, it's
And a
not.
lot of it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money, but it's not that we're not privy to the information. That's not it. You know, it's once again, who do we talk to about this information?
Mm.
And that's another hardship in all within itself.
Oh yeah.
Because who's gonna teach you about banking if you don't have a family member who works in the banking field?
This is where the arguing point of these are the life skills that actually should be taught in high school now. Like realistically, these are the life skills that should be taught to teenagers growing up.
Yes,
And I believe it starts at home, yes.
right. But
But if our foundation of public school is based on the values that we teach at home, then maybe our public school system should be teaching these values as well.
yeah, and I kind of agree with you on that. But once again, if these are supposed to be the values taught at home, who's going to teach you these values when nobody taught the generation before us? You see what I'm saying?
This is
Like,
why I say I would want the school. This is why I would want the school to do it, because in case that unfor listen, I live in Florida. Let's be real. Let's be completely real. Dude shot chick in the stomach in Indiantown, 20 miles from where I'm sitting right now, in the stomach, while one of our children was on the Zoom conference, school with the teacher. Like, teacher, I believe, saw the entire thing go down in the background. 6 kids this lady had, 32 years old. I mean, come on, 6 children. That's 6 children that's not going to have that guidance, or might not have that guidance growing up. These are the situations where I'm like, I believe the school system would do a better service to the community by teaching these life skills. Bring back home ec. Let's just be real. Bring back home ec. I barely know how to cook. I'm learning how to do it now. But if high school is supposed to prepare you in a sense for life, because I've always felt that high school is what teaches you how to deal with people. You know what I mean? As you start to figure out who you are, I believe some of these foundational skills should be part of the curriculum. You know what I mean? Proper banking, economics classes. Like, economics and government teaches you the basics, but not in depth different aspects of it. Now, there are seminars you can attend, but with COVID and whatnot, it might be kind of hard to do that. But those skills need to be taught to the youth growing up to make it just, again, more of the foundation, more of, hey, you need to know how to do this, and if you can, make it as like your economics and government. For me, here in the state of Florida, it's mandatory. You have to pass that to graduate high school.
all right, so let me ask you guys this:
Mm-hmm.
do you think that high schools teaching economics and banking would help alleviate some of the issues that black-owned businesses come up against now, further in the future?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, without a
Mm.
question.
all right. Yeah. What about
There's
you?
enough. There's, there's enough. There are enough hustlers in high school. Let's just be real. There's enough hustlers in high school. There's enough people with a mentality of a business or wannabe business mentality. Look, when I'm 34. When I was in high school, Jay-Z basically sparked most of it. But if you could teach kids that, all right, you're gonna hear this street mentality, you're gonna hear this hustle mentality from the music or what have you. But the school system is gonna teach you how to apply that to corporate America. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the bad guy, and I'm gonna say no. The reason why I'm gonna say no is this. He just brought it up. I did not learn or establish my business mentality from school. I grew up in Columbus and Cleveland. I learned from what I seen. I learned that hustling, go out and get it mentality from home. Only thing, what I'm saying, one hand will wash the other. If it's in school, good. Take what that's going to help you to apply, but do not forget it starts at home, especially with black kids. I'm not going to say anything about any other minority. I'm going to say about black kids. Reason why I'm going to say that, 9 times out of 10, we looking to get out of situations. How do we look to get out of situations? Football, baseball, basketball, or you run track.
Yeah.
But no one will tell that young person about the financial sides. That's why we have them ups and downs in the black community. Prime example, Stephon Marbury did not know what to do with his money. But when about time he realized what to do with his money, it was almost too late. He has lost over 20-some million. If we had that, and it started at home, if we have that, we wouldn't have this conversation. Period.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need it in school because not everybody is gonna be that athlete. Not everybody's gonna be that actor. So those of us with real, quote unquote, real life incomes need to know how to grow that money. Again, there are outlets. You just have to dig for them. Wonderful man's book, Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover, things like that. They're not going to teach you that in school. You know what I mean? But they should, because this is
But
the stuff
black,
you're going to need to learn.
but what I'm
But
saying, today's youth, you know where they get their mentality about their money?
yeah,
Rick Ross, Meek Mills, Jay-Z, Kevin Gates, Young and May. They looking at it. If I can hustle like them, or if I can be on someone's YouTube cut all-star quick little Nike camp tape, dollar signs are coming.
see, the
Sometimes,
sad
man, we
part
gotta
is
actually
I
sit
don't
back and
disagree
look.
with you.
No, what I'm saying though, sometimes we gotta actually sit back as a people. We gotta reassess for the times. And we always the last one on the chopping block to reassess as people to keep adjusting to those times.
I mean, you can't readjust fire if you don't know where fire is coming from.
Hmm.
You know
That
it.
is a great point.
It's but it's a very simple and it's straight to the point. If you're getting, for instance, if somebody's throwing a rock at you, you see the person throwing a rock, you know to move left or right.
Hmm.
But if you're getting a rock thrown at you from behind, you don't know where to go. You can't move left or right or forward because you don't know where it's coming from. All you know is, I got hit. Ah, I got hit again. Then when you turn around to make an attempt to adjust, I got hit in the back again. So you really don't know where to adjust fire from when that time comes.
Great point, sir. Great
And
point.
with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thanks for checking out Clockwise Thoughts. Remember, clock's only right twice a day. Why not be right all the time? Tune in next week to Clockwise Thoughts, and we'll talk to you when the clock goes around.
Good night, everybody.